Hey everybody, this is Cadroll Hunter here, and we are back hunting toonies. Hi everybody, this is James, and you're watching my channel Cadroll Hunter, and that's right, we have got a full box, $1,000, 20 $50 rolls of customer wrapped toonies. I might be a glutton for punishment. You know, we found some counterfeit toonies in our last couple of boxes, but it's been a while since I've done a toonie hunt, and I want to see what's out there. There are lots of cool things we can find. We'll be looking for some errors or varieties, any low mint. Particularly in the more recent years, there are some really nice colored and non-colored commemoratives. We want to see if we can find those. Hopefully, we're not going to get stuck with a whole bunch of counterfeits. That wouldn't be cool. We are likely going to find some, though. There was an arrest in the case I posted about a little while ago. I'm going to put up a link to Brent Mackey's cameltoetoonies.ca website where you can find lots of good information. He's been in the news a whole lot lately talking about toonies. It's really interesting because for the longest time, it seemed like he was the only person talking about counterfeit toonies. The Mint wasn't saying anything. It wasn't in the media. The police weren't saying anything. Now it's come to everyone's attention because there was a big bust. So you can read more about that and all of the links to the news stories in that website. I put the link below. But let's crack in and see what we can find. Hopefully we're going to find some goodies. Roll number one, I've got a 2012 toonie here, and not unlike the loonies, in the year 2012, the Mint started introducing additional security features, and you can see these sort of laser etched maple leaves, and you can see in the lines at the top the maple leaf. So this is a 2012 with what we call the added security features. There is another version of the 2012, far less common, that doesn't include these security features. That's one of the rarer or less common varieties we want to be looking for. And here's the 1996, not in great shape. You can see the bimetallic coin, that center ring really becomes discolored over time. But the 1996 is one of the most common ones. It's the highest mintage of all of the toonies, I believe. And one of the things we can look for, there are several varieties. One is the cigar variety, where it appears as though there's a dye chip making it appear as though this polar bear, is smoking a cigar. This isn't it, but we want to look for any of a number of varieties that we can find for the 1996. Same roll, here is a 2000. It has the word knowledge, or le savoir in French, on it, with a group of polar bears rather than just the one. And there are a couple of errors or varieties we can find on this. Particularly around the dollars, there is one with a die chip at the base of the D and one with a die chip at the base of the S called the pedestal D or pedestal S. We don't see that here, but that's another set of varieties you want to be looking for. And I've just pulled that 2000 under the scope because the other variety is what they call the pedestal zero, and there's a little die chip on the zero, and we found one of those in our last hunt, which was actually really cool. We're just in roll number two, and already we're going to have some really cool finds. Here's a really beautiful 2011, but right behind it, we have a 2017 in great shape. This one is featuring the Northern Lights. There is a glow-in-the-dark version of that. If we found that, it would be spectacular. This one is in excellent condition, and I can even see a little further back, just actually right behind this next one, the insulin one. This is low mint. This is minted at just 1 million, this non-colored version. I still haven't found the colored version. That's minted at 2 million, but it's actually a little harder to come by because people pull the color ones aside. That's great. Still in the same roll, and I've got a 2006. I want to draw your attention to this year because there are several different varieties that we can be looking for. There is one that carries the Royal Canadian Mint logo, like you see on the bottom here. That's this one. There's one that doesn't have the Royal Canadian Mint logo. And there's another double date version, 1996 to 2006, that features the polar bear as it is on this one. And there is a second one that features a polar bear with some rays above it. It's known as the Churchill reverse. So you'll want to be on the lookout for all of those. The standard polar bear, as you see here, with the double date at the bottom of the obverse, is the least common of all of them. And that's one you want to be looking for. Still in that roll, we've got a bit of a different obverse. There's no date here, so we know this is one of the commemoratives. This time it's the 2017 for Vimy. So we're in roll number 3, and it was bound to happen, but we have a counterfeit toonie This is one of those camel toe toonies, and you can see it has a new appearance on the outer ring, and the paw, that front right paw of the polar bear looks more like a camel's toe. And so this is one, it's a 2005, or that's what it's purporting to be. And these are pretty good high quality fakes. We'll have to put this aside. We got our first counterfeit. Hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come. Still in roll number 3, here's a 2003. It's pretty beat up, but there are 2 varieties you can find here. One features this older portrait of the queen, and the newer portrait is the other one, the uncrowned queen. So you can find both of those. They're both quite common. Here is the Nunavut 1999 toonie. There is a mule that basically featured the reverse of a non-circulation coin. It's mostly the same. Some of the details will appear slightly different, but what's missing is the raised rim that you can see by my thumb there. So this is the regular circulation variety. The mule would have no raised rim there, and some of the details might slightly differ. Roll number 4, and we've got a bit of an oddity. We've got a 2020 Bill Reed coin, and I believe that this one here was the color enamel version. It looks like the coin has been, I think it's been burnt. I think somebody has set it on fire, and where the color enamel would be on the reverse is completely gone. And instead we've just got some maybe burn marks, smoke marks. Really strange. I haven't seen anything like that. It's too bad because this is a beautiful coin when it's got the design on there and has some definite collector value. Same roll, we got our first 2022 toonie. That's the first one I have found so far. Same roll, we got another great commemorative. This is a 2008. It's featuring the fleur-de-lis on there. This is commemorating the 400th anniversary of the founding of Quebec City. Roll number 6, we've got the 2015 bicentennial of Sir John A. Macdonald's birth. Sir John A. Macdonald, of course, was the first Prime Minister of Canada. Clearly, a lot has happened in Canada in the last 7 years since this coin was minted. Sir John A. Macdonald has certainly fallen out of favor, owing a lot to Canada's colonial past and some of the tragedies of our nation's history, including residential schools. I won't go into too much of that detail right here. You can see all of the information online. However, I'm not sure a coin like this would be minted today. Same roll, and we've got another one from 2014, another commemorative that is. This one is called Wait For Me Daddy, and you can see it depicts a family saying goodbye to the father as he goes off to war. So this is a Remembrance Day commemorative. Roll 7, and we're going to have a bunch of fakes in here. I can see that right off the bat. We can see this one here. It shows the 1952 to 2002. That is not authentic. Right behind it, one with the date 2005, another forgery. You can see that camel toe there. And a little bit behind it, another one here bearing the date 1996. So these are still circulating around. I'll have to see if there's another one. This one might be another one back here. Yep. 2005. So, and there's some sort of a die chip on there. We've got 4 in one roll, so they're not gone yet. Same roll. This one looks a little bit different, but it's real. This one is the 2006. It bears the double date, and it's the Churchill variety, and you can see it shows some rays emanating off the polar bear and a bit of a different stance. So that's one of the 2006 varieties you can find. Here is another remembrance-themed toonie that we've got here in roll number 9. This one depicts John McCrae, an officer in the Canadian Armed Forces in World War I, in France, penning the famous Canadian poem In Flanders Fields. And you can see the poppies along the right and the left. A beautiful coin. We're actually in roll number 8, and the last coin in that roll is from 2011, celebrating Canada's boreal forest. Here's a look at the edges of a typical roll. You can see there's edge lettering on the side of the newer ones. So they don't all have that. The older ones, like in the middle, won't have the edge lettering. but they have these alternating serrated bits and these plain bits or smooth bits. What this edge lettering means, of course, is that every coin, every modern toonie, has an A and a B orientation, which just depends on which way the letters are oriented, in relation to the obverse. Some collectors will collect the A and the B for all of them. I don't do that. It's too much effort. I don't need to have two of everything necessarily. So I don't really pay any attention to the edge lettering or what their orientation is. I just want the best example of a particular year or variety. I don't need to double my efforts even more. We just found a legitimate real 2002. It's on the left compared to the one on the right. You can see the one on the left is well worn, as it should be. The one on the right looks brand new on the outside ring because, well, it is brand new. But if you look closely, you can see some differences, particularly the maple leaf on the right is really kind of skewed. The one on the left is actually symmetrical. The numbers are somewhat different. Look at the 9 in 1952. They're completely different. The 2s aren't quite right. You can see some major differences. Even the spacing of the numbers and the dash in between is different. Roll number 9, we got another remembrance-themed commemorative. This one from 2016. It is depicting the Battle of the Atlantic, and you can see the gunners there on a ship. You can see a ship on the left and right, as well as a plane. Another beautiful coin here. And just for those of you who are keeping count at home, we are now up to 8 fakes all along the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 8 is in here somewhere. So not so good. We're into roll number 11. I bring you in because we have found our second 2021 insulin. Again, the non-colorized version, the more scarce one. Still looking for that color though. Same roll. Here's a great looking one. It's obverse facing, so we're going to have to flip it over to see what it is. And it is the 2017 Vimy, and that is in just beautiful condition. Roll number 12, we've got the 2020 Victory non-color version. This is limited mintage as well. It's got some environmental damage on it, unfortunately, but I think this one's also minted at 2 million. Roll 23, and we got another great one. This one is the 2018 Armistice. Just beautiful. Roll number 18, quick update. We've got a few more counterfeits, so we are now up to 11, but I'm bringing you in because we've got another commemorative. We'll see what it is, and it is the 2020 Bill Reed non-color version. This is a gorgeous coin. Well, we're down to roll number 20, our last roll of our $1,000 toonie hunt. We got lots of coins to look through. We got all sorts of commemoratives. We got some nice, bright, new, shiny ones. We even got a whole bunch of fake coins that we weren't really wanting to get. But we haven't received any colorized toonies, so we got one last shot to see if we can get a colorized toonie. Is it in this roll? We'll find out. So that hunt is completed. But there is a couple of set of varieties that we can check for. I always like to do this at the end of a toonie hunt. I've got a stack of 2010s, only 3 I got in this box, and a stack of 2019s. There are some varieties we can look at, but it's easiest if I stack them all up and look at them at the end. It's hard to do them individually because what we're looking for is the number of serrations on the side of the coin. There is a variety. We'll start with the 2010. The standard toonie for 2010 had 16 serrations and on the side of the coin. But there was a variety where they used a different collar and it actually had 14 serrations. And you can really easily tell the difference by comparing the sides of the coin. What I'm going to do is put it under a magnifying glass so we can get a better look. So what we're looking for is if when we compare all of our 2010s, if there's one that has fewer serrations, it'll be really easy to see when looking at them side by side. Okay, and here are those 2010s. I've got them under the magnifying glass. And we can really easily see they're not totally lined up, but these are all 2010s. The 2 on the right have the 16 serrations, the normal variety, and they're spaced out a little bit more. And the one on the left you can see is shorter. It's only got 14 and they're a little closer together. So we found the harder to come by 14 serration variety. And there we have it right there. That's awesome. I'll set that aside. And here I've got a couple stacks of 2019s. I'm going to grab them, line them up, and see if I have any of the variety. The typical 2019 should have 14 serrations, but some have 16, and we're going to see if we find any 16 serration. Here is my first stack of 2019s. I've lined up the serrations and they're all the same. These are the standard 14 serration. We would be looking for one that stands out from the rest as being wider with the serrations. I've got one more stack to check. We'll check that out too. All right, here's our second set, and this is pretty cool because we did find one. Look at that. It's the fourth from the right. You can see they're spaced out further apart and it's much wider. So we found one of the less common 16 serrations. That's pretty cool too. Okay, so here is my haul. I got a lot of things I'm going to check against my book. You can see we got a bunch of really nice looking commemoratives, including on the right, that 2021 non-color insulin. We found some really cool stuff. I'm going to check my own collection and see if any of these upgrade what I've got. And some better versions of the standard polar bear on here, particularly some stacks of 2021s and 2022s I will check. I'm not going to keep all of these, just the best. And of course, we found not 5, but 12 fake Toonies in this bunch. And I got 5 in each of my last 2 boxes. So even though some arrests have been made, or at least one arrest has been made and some fakes have been seized, they're definitely out there. 12 of these 500 coins were fakes. And we got one other find in the miscellaneous cool category. I guess technically this here is a colorized 2020 Bill Reed, but somebody has probably burnt off the color enamel. It's not there at all. And there's no detail because all of the detail that is stamped on the non-color version, you can see right here, is actually applied to a flat surface on this and is really sort of painted or enameled on that color piece that goes on the center. So that's gone. So kind of interesting. I hope you enjoyed this Toonie hunt. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, Caterroll Hunter, please do that now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time.